Roughly 87% of the world's population speak other language than English, with less than 5% speaking it as their first language. I'm not a native speaker myself. This is why internationalization is crucial for any website, and without it, you're missing the opportunity to reach a massive audience. In this video, we will implement internationalization in a Next.js 13 project, and we will manage multilingual content with Prismic. Hey, Vadim from Prismic here. Prismic is a headless website builder that enables you to drive performance at scale, launch with a strong brand, and build sites that keep getting better. By the end of this video, you will know what Next.js offers out of the box for the internationalization support and how to manage multilingual content with Prismic. Here I have a Next.js starter project which you can get by running npx create next app at latest. And first thing we need to do is to add locales to the configuration file, which defines the languages you want to support on your website. Let's add two locales, English and French. To do that, we need to create an i18n object. And we add two properties, which is locales, and this is an array of strings. And we add English, and we add French. We're using the standardized locales code, which is a convention we need to follow. And the second property is the default locale, which will be English in our case. And this is a string. And we're done with the config part. Now let's use the router provided by Next.js to output three things: default locale, current locale, and list of configured locales. To do that, we need to import the useRouter hook. And now we're ready to extract the locales, default locale, and current locale. And now we're ready to output it. I will paste the JSX code to save some time. So now you can see we have the default locale, current locale, and list of locales. And we can switch between those, changing the current locale, but keeping the default locale the same because it's pre-configured in our next config file. With these features, Next.js makes adding internationalization support to your website really easy. But now let's explore the better way to manage multilingual content. When managing multilingual content for your website, creating JSON files is the fastest way to get started with. However, as your website grows and you have to handle multiple text lines in different languages, this method becomes difficult to manage. And adding new languages requires manual work, like editing large JSON files or copying text lines, which can result in typos, and that is quite frustrating and time-consuming. But what if I told you there is a better way? With Prismic, you can integrate internationalization support in a scalable and dynamic manner. In this video, we're reviewing Prismic-specific projects, but these concepts apply to any CMS you choose. Now let's move to the Prismic multi-language starter project. You can get exactly the same project by clicking the link in the description down below. Before we jump into coding, let's see the content management side. First, we can switch languages and see localized content on the page where all of the documents are listed. Switching languages is also possible when viewing specific document. The next part that needs to be covered is how to add languages. If we navigate to settings, we can see a tab called Translations and Locales. Here we can see the list of configured locales. We can add a new locale or remove one from the list. And now let's jump back to our Next.js project. To enable the built-in internationalization support in Next.js, we added i18n property to the configuration of our project. We will use this property to point to the list of locales associated with our Prismic repo. The goal is to replace the static array with a dynamic list of locales which we can retrieve from Prismic. In the previous part of this video, we used Next.router to extract locales, and in the same manner, we use Prismic client to extract locales and pass it to the i18n object, but in a dynamic manner, not as a static array. We're using this setup that allows us to fetch data from Prismic. You can read about that more in the documentation, and you can find a link attached in the description of this video. The locales array is populated with the locale codes from the Prismic repo. We're then using this array to define the default locale as well. With this configuration, your Next.js app can support browse with prefixed locale codes, such as NUS/hello or French/bonjour. And now let's continue and see how we can use localized content from Prismic. To get localized content, we need to pass the locale to the lang attribute of our Prismic queries and say, hey, I need content in this specific language. The getByUID function queries the page from Prismic using the params.uid, where UID is the slug of our page. We also pass the lang parameter just to ensure that we're fetching the content in the expected language. The retrieved page data is then passed as a prop to our page component, allowing us to render page in an expected language. With this adjustment, your Next.js app will query data from Prismic based on the route's locale, ensuring that the correct localized content is displayed. Let's move forward and explore how to configure internal links and how to create the language switcher component. Let's say you have a dynamic route defined with the getStaticPath function. We need to update our Prismic query to get documents in the all available languages. To do that, we're adding the lam parameter to our Prismic query. This will ensure that documents in all of the languages are fetched. The getAllByType function queries all of the documents with the type page, and with the lang parameter, we're fetching pages in the all languages that are available in the Prismic repo. With this change, your Next.js app will generate static paths for all of the localized pages, ensuring that all of the localized pages are pre-rendered and accessible. Now we're ready to continue and create the language switcher component and the configuration process of the internal links. We will use the getLocales helper function to fetch the list of locales for a specific document. This helper will be useful in your getStaticProps function. It returns the array of locales that we can use later on. You can find the link to the code in the description down below. Now we can import the getLocales helper and fetch the array of locales. And with this array being available, we can display it so users can switch between languages. And now in our header component, which is a good place for a language switcher because it should be easy for a user to find one, we can see that we're using the locales array to map through it and create a list of links so users can switch between languages seamlessly. But now let's see if it's actually functioning as expected. And if I click on the language switcher component, we can see that it's actually switching the language. And there we have it. We've explored the world of internationalization in Next.js and Prismic. Throughout this video, we covered the benefits of the internationalization and how Next.js offers a built-in support for it. We've also seen how to use Next.js with a content management system like Prismic to set up and handle multiple languages. If you want to see real-world examples of Prismic multi-language websites, you can take a look at Ticketmaster, Verif, or Zwift. Now it's your turn to take action. If you want to create a website with multiple languages, I really encourage you to try Prismic. With a user-friendly page builder and ability to dynamically fetch locales, you can easily manage your localized content. Also, adding custom fonts will make your websites even better. You can check out this video and learn how to do that. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. But now, happy coding and see you in the next one.